How's it going, internets? I hope you're having a lovely day. It's that time again. It's time to get into some animation, time to get that imagination all revved up, get into some creativity, and it's time to get inspired. And today's inspiration comes from Michael Hague. If you're not familiar with his work, check right over here. He is a phenomenal artist. He's worked with Disney. He's worked on stuff from Tolkien, Lord of the Rings, but just a wonderful imagination and really brings the fantastical to life. I really love his style because I feel like there's almost a mix of like Edmund Dulac with Disney sensibilities in there. I really like the rendering of these little square scales throughout this dragon. I thought that's a really interesting style choice that I really haven't seen that kind of pattern before, which was really interesting. The expression here, you have him kind of looking down over here with that big smile. This great silhouette in that character, just a wonderful sensibilities. I really dig his stuff. I urge you guys to check out more stuff from him. I'll throw some links down in the description below. But I really like his characters. I feel like they're very whimsical and yet kind of high fantasy mixed in there as well. Kind of bridges that gap between kind of like, as you know, I'm a big fan of Blizzard. The way that they approach fantasy, I think, has a little bit of whimsy to it, and I feel like his work has that too, while still having a high fantasy element to it as well. Just gorgeous stuff. But I did want to share a quote that I was able to find from him, and he said, "The fantastic is always believable if it is placed in the familiar." I think that's a great quote. For anyone who uses their imagination in whatever capacity it is that you choose to, for whatever medium that you love, you always have to understand the fundamentals and understand the basics and then push them in your own way in whatever vision you have of the world. But you want to have some sort of middle ground that people can connect with. So let's say you make a character with a really crazy face. You still want to have some semblance of eyes, nose, mouth, ears, some sort of, it doesn't have to necessarily have all of those, but you have to be able to invite your audience to recognize what it is and then go to that fantastical place with it. And I feel like he definitely embodies that in his work. He gives you the basics that you need to enter into his imagery and his imagination, and then takes it to a place that you haven't seen before. And I think he does that wonderfully. So let's go ahead and get into some animation. We're continuing on. I think we'll maybe only do a couple more days with this shot, and then not sure what we'll do for our next shot. But for today, I wanted to do a little bit with the cheeks, and probably just look at the mouth and make sure there aren't any spots where the corners of the mouth or the lips are really locked off, because I didn't really do any cleanup in there. I think I just want to keep mainly what I have there, but just to make sure there's no parts where it's totally flat. And then look into the fingers a little bit more. I think there's some places where there isn't enough movement in there. And maybe if time permits, we'll look at the hair and the eyes again, because I think there's some parts where the eyes aren't going, especially like in this portion right here. I feel like even though it technically is correct, that's not a pleasing pose for those eyes, because we want him to be looking over here, but with this eye being pushed all the way to the corner, this eye should be in the corner as well if we really wanted to sell that pose. But we don't really want that. We just want this one to be with a little bit more white space over there. So time permitting, we'll get into that, but I think mainly I wanted to do some stuff with the cheeks for today, which might take us a little while. So we are using the Malcolm V2 rig from Anim School, and we're using Autodesk Maya 2014. For more information on that and all the stuff that we've talked about so far, check out the links in the description down below. I also have links over to my Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, all that kind of good stuff. If you guys want to follow me over there, or shoot me a message, or show me a picture, or get an extra set of eyes on whatever you're working on, I'm happy to do that. And don't hesitate to, if you guys are on Facebook, to add me as a friend. I'm happy to do that as well. You don't have to just follow me. I know it's getting a decent amount of people following me, but feel free. I'm open to. I want to be your friend too. So don't hesitate to do that as well. So like I said, we'll go ahead and take a look mainly at the cheeks for today. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and just save our file, because it's always good to save multiple versions and to save often and to save before you get into any new steps of your work. So we'll just pause. Alright, and we're back. So the main idea behind doing stuff in the cheeks is, if we look at our shot now, we did a bunch with I have the audio off just because I don't think the volume is that great. We have a lot going on in the mouth, and we have stuff going on in the eyes. But there's kind of a deadness in the middle of the face. So we want to try and accentuate that so the whole face feels a little more flexible and loose. So we'll just go ahead. We don't need a ton on here, but just so that we can kind of play around and play off of really where the corners of the mouth are going. And I think we did a little bit already in the upper parts of the cheeks, just with the eyes too. So let's go ahead and set that there. Go a little bit down here. Delete that. Just kind of do some bounce in here. Go up a little bit here. Go down a little bit there. And again, it's not going to be something that's incredibly precise, but just so that we get some looseness in there. Up a little bit here, maybe go out a little bit there, and go in a little bit here too, just so we add that little bit of squash and stretch in the face there. Okay. Here, go down a little bit, in a little bit here, up a little bit there, up, out, and here we go, up again, out a little bit here, and down and in. Up again a little bit here, out a little bit, and in a little bit, down, here we could go up a little bit again, out a little bit, and this would be down here, and in, go a little bit higher here, a little bit further out there, again up, a little bit out, down here, in, and again up and out, just playing with that squash and stretch principle here, and go down here and in, and we might tone this all down too, but we'll see. bit more, out a little bit more. Up a little bit more, out a little bit more here. And we'll turn our tablet off there. Where were we? So this one here, be down and inward. And we'll go and delete this one. And again, up a little bit, out a little bit. Down, in, up, and out. This would be down, in, and up, out. Down and in, up and out, and down, in, then up again, out again. Down again there, in again here. And up there, out. And down there, in. This one would be up and out. Up a little bit higher, out a little bit more, and down here, in, and then delete this one, and go up a little bit more, out a little bit more here. Down a little bit and in a little bit more here. And up and out. And then this would be down here and in. This could be up a little bit more, in a little bit more, maybe out a little bit more. And go down here and in a little bit more. We'll switch to the side here. And go down there. Up here and out, and down there, and in, let's do a play blast on that and just see how that looks. Alright, I don't think we need to push it that much, but it just helps loosen up that face so it doesn't feel like the face is so locked off to just the mouth as animated, but it makes the whole face feel like there's a little bit of movement through it. Yeah, I think that'll work. So I wanted to do the eyes. So let's go on to that. We'll turn our nerve curves back on here. I should probably. All right. So let's just look at those eyes here. Or maybe we'll do some on the nose too. It could be fun. So let's look at the translate X, and so like right about here. See, that's just a little too far pushed there. So I'm just gonna take both of them and we'll just pull them back a little bit more, so we still have a little bit of white in that eye. And same with this one. We're just gonna bring that in a little bit more, just so that we still have a little bit of that negative space, a little bit of that white in there. I think this one probably needs to be a little bit more inward too. There we go. Okay. Then I was thinking about doing a little bit on the nose. Let's see. How much control do we get of this? Okay, so it would be just something that we could do a little bit of kind of on those head moves here. Just an exaggeration, so it would be something like this where it would be, maybe set it here, do a little bit of drag there, go a little bit up, and go down. Just so that we can get a little more looseness in that face here. It doesn't have to be a lot, but and maybe delay it one frame from there. And maybe have a little bit more overshoot there. Same thing here, so we've got this, set that there, do a little bit up, and a little bit down here. Again, it doesn't have to be a lot, but just so there's some flexibility in that nose. And we'll set another key here. Go ahead and drag it down there. Go up. And then go back here. This a decent amount here, just so we get a little bit in there. And I'll just move that one frame sooner. And let it go for another frame maybe. So it drags, and be one frame later. So we get a overshoot and land in the nose. We'll set that. Drag it back up a little bit. Go down. And we'll drag it again. We'll go up again. We'll drag it there. Go back. Down. Back. Down. Back. And down. There. Okay. Something like that. Yeah, we'll probably minimize that a decent amount here too. Just so you can get a little more looseness in there. And we'll do another play blast and just see how we like all that working. It might be a little too much, but we'll see. So let's do another play blast here. And we'll just look at... Alright, again, it's not something that's really going to stick out there. It's just one of those little touches that we can add to give a little more life to this, to his face there. And I think probably this part right before the big kind of move should be a little more toned down here. So let me find that nose controller there, which is this one here. And it was pretty much the back and forth here. Seemed a little too much before that, so we'll go ahead and just scale that back down a little bit more. Okay, and then the next thing I wanted to do was, actually, I wanted to go back and retouch on the corners of the mouth here. And make sure that there weren't any parts that were really flat off there. So let's look at our translate X. And just make sure, again, this isn't the prettiest graph right now, but I'm just making sure there's nothing that was just flat. And I think we did an okay job of making sure that we didn't do that. Okay, yeah, that'll work. Alright, and we'll look at the lip too, just the main portions here. Make sure there's nothing that really flats off there for us as well. We'll get the translate Y's. And flats off, I really just mean something that would be even more than that. That's okay. And lips, I tend to not clean up too much on there because it's going to be on 1s and 2s really, so you just want to hit those main poses rather than some of the other parts there. Okay, so other than that, let's go ahead and look at these fingers again. I feel like there's nothing going on for a while. On which portion was it? Because I was looking at this. I think it's from like 72 to pretty much 107. There's really nothing that goes on with these fingers too much. So let's try and break that up a little bit more. There's that little bit of flop that we get in that point, which I'll leave in there, but pretty much see we've got all this flat there. I want to get a little bit of movement throughout there. So we hit about, where is it? It goes out and then it goes in here. I think we could go a little bit more here. And a little bit more here. Just so we kind of get a same basic hand pose, but we tweak it a little bit more, so there's somewhere to go there. maybe not get this far back out with it here. So I think we have, what is that? Which pose was that here? About 93 here. Let's go ahead and set that one. And we'll hold, what do we have, 96 till about 106. And we'll delete that one. Just so there's a little movement throughout those fingers as well. For this part, let's try and grab all of these tips here, and let's see, delay them a frame. Maybe even another frame there. Let's take the pinky and delay that a frame here too, just throughout most of this stuff here, just so we get a little more variation. Just makes it a little more interesting. Another thing I was thinking about doing too is do maybe a little, set that there. And we've got this one, so we could do a little bit of a kind of rotate Z back, like a little forward and back. Let's see if that'll work. So we've got where it is there. And it doesn't have to be a big move, but just so we have a little bit of kind of on there. Let's go the other way though. And I need to start the frame sooner. Maybe be a little bit more of a hold there. Bring that up a little bit more. And bring this one there a little bit more. And again, it's just going to be kind of a micro movement, nothing too exciting, but just to add a little bit more character to that move, if we can get it to work right. glitch it so it goes down first and back second. Let's see if that works. It almost needs to be back and forth a little bit more, so let's throw another one in here. It's gonna have to be real quick and real minimal, or else it's gonna look like it's just not intentional and a glitch, which you kind of want to avoid. So let's see. Yeah, maybe we'll just minimize that. If we had some more frames to play with, I think it would work a little bit better, but it's pretty quick. Skip that idea. I think we're throwing too many ideas in there at once, and it's not going to read very well. So let's just see. We'll do a quick play blast from, let's see, like, what are we at, 88 to like 109. Let's just see if that even reads, because I'm guessing it's not going to be enough frames to really have that come across so well. So I think we're at, what, 88? Yeah, we'll do a quick. It's alright. It's not perfect, but I think it adds a little bit of more detail in there. We'll keep it in there. I was thinking maybe get rid of it, but I think it adds a little bit more to it. And let's see, we had what else were we going to touch on today? Just take a glance at where we're at throughout everything. I think we were going to do maybe a little bit with the hair. I think we mentioned, didn't we say that we can try and do that? Yeah, let's try and see if we can do something with that. On those head swings up and down especially, we could probably add a little bit in there. So let's get, where we at here, turn our wavy hair visibility on, and let's see. I think it was mainly this controller here. Which one was the kind of root controller for that little bit here? Alright, we'll use that one for right now. So we're just going to keep where it is here. Set that. Up a little bit. Go, drag it down a little bit more. And then go down just so there's that little kind of flop there. And set it here. Up a little bit, and down, and back to where we were. It's just the angle, maybe. We'll hold it there. Drag it a little bit more there. Up a little bit here. And back down to where we were. Maybe a frame too late. Move that forward there. set that. Go a little bit up here. And a little bit down there. A little bit more drag there. Go up here. Go down. And that's what we're looking at. Alright, something like that. Let's do a play blast here and see how that feels. We'll just start at about 30 here. Alright, it's okay. Probably maybe a little too much on that first one. The rest of it feels okay. Maybe it's a little too slow on that first one too. So we'll just take that down a little bit more and let it land a frame sooner there. I think the timing's actually okay. Maybe it's just a little too over-exaggerated. Okay, and let's do just a little bit on the rest of the hair too. So I'll go ahead and set that there. And we'll rotate it kind of down there. Up here, just so there's a little bit of a flop. And down. And we'll hold it till there. Can lift it up a little bit here. Go down a little bit further. Up a little bit. And we'll hold till about 83. I'll drag it down a little bit there. And up a little bit more. And then down. And we'll set that one. Go out a little bit. And down a little bit more. Out a little bit here. And down. Maybe start to go out a little bit here. We'll go back. Kind of go somewhere like that. And we'll do a little bit of forward. And back there. Let's see. Bring that one over there. Let's see. So it kind of waves up and back down. This should be up again. Let's see. And then there, something like that. Let's see, so there's a little bit of waviness to it. Alright, and let's do a play blast. Alright, it's okay. It's not perfect, but it'll work. It'll help sell the idea. And I think that another thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this one in particular and tone down some of the movements a little bit more. Just add a little more variety here in our graph editor, where we still keep fairly the same timing, but we'll exaggerate this one a little bit more. That way we don't hit exactly the same feeling between these two here. Okay, and let's see how that feels there. If that feels a little better. Alright, it's okay. I think we could do probably a little bit in the middle sections there too, to just help loosen that up a little bit more too. So let's go ahead and grab the middle here and here. And I'll go and set those there. And go those will go down a little bit here. Up a little bit. Down. Let's see. There we go, set there. Go down a little bit there. Up a little bit here. Down. And let's set that there. Go add a little bit. Down. Add a little bit there. Down here. Out a little bit over. Back down. Go there, about there. Again, it's just to kind of loosen it up a little bit more, nothing too exciting. Okay, let's see if that works. It's not, I don't know, maybe we go back and last one has kind of a jitter here. I think this one might be too much, so go a couple frames before. Bring that there as our extreme instead. And then I feel like these all just need to calm down a little bit more, so bring that down, just like pretty much the rotate X's I guess would be the extremes here. Bring that down, just kind of minimize everything a little bit more. Yeah, let's see how that played. Alright, it's better. I'll just tone it down a little bit more. And let's try doing something with the, I feel like this thumb's a little stiff here to begin with. We've got a lot of just flat moves there. So let's try and do some readjustments here on the thumb. So we still have a little bit of time left here. Now in this case I want the tablet to be back on, so we still make sure that that's holding there. Let's maybe do a little bit of position change here. Let's go ahead and set that one and set this one. Maybe not so extreme, maybe more like that. Let's see. Something so we get kind of a pose change there. Set that. And we'll set this one and bring that to about 33. Delete those. So we'll go back there. Keep that one. I think we had a little bit of overshoot there, so that'll work. And yeah, that'll just give us that little bit of change of shape there. So let's take what we have at the beginning, and we'll hold that till about 15, just so we have a little bit of movement there. And we'll take what we have at about 31 and move that there, bring this one back a little bit more. Set that one, and set this so it's never fully locked off there. And let's take what we have on these guys and we'll move them forward a frame. And take what we have on the tip of the thumb and we'll delay that a frame there. Okay, should give us a little bit of movement throughout the thumb there. Let's just look at those first 60 frames, see if that thumb feels a little... Alright, so we've got a little bit of movement through there. Let's try and figure out what kind of a camera angle we want to go with this thing. Because I was thinking originally that I wanted to do more of a wide full body shot, but now that I'm thinking I want it to almost be more like this. So we'd cut off the movement in the feet here, but it would allow us to really get in to the character a little bit more. So let's try and get, because we want this to be in frame and we want that to be in frame. So maybe somewhere in between there. Let's look at this and see if this is a good camera. I think what I'll do is I'll create a camera move so we can pan in a little bit more. I think that might help us so you can frame that a little bit better. So let's start off, let's go here to Window, Outliner. Make sure we're still recording here. Let's look at which camera, perspective 2. Let's see, show all, perspective 1, perspective 2. Okay, so let's start off here, but maybe zoom out a little bit more. Let's look at our, what's that, retranslate Z. Just a little bit. Let's go like 3 there. So we're have still some room in the corner. He's not, we got a little bit of negative space there, so that'll work. So again, we'll set that, we'll keep that, and then we'll end up somewhere more like that, a little bit closer. So -5. Let's go -3. -2. There we go. And we'll set that. let's get to about 145 at about 120. So camera move goes a little bit quicker in the beginning. Let's actually try and get to about 108 at 180. Okay, let's set that at about 90. We might need a few more frames still. Let's see how that camera angle will work for us. So we still have this camera that's slowly panning in a little bit more. Alright, it works, but I think I might tweak it a little bit more, and I might even push the character universally more towards the door, so we end up with a tighter shot. So let's try that. Let's save our file here. We'll try that, and then we'll wrap up. Okay, so what I was thinking, just so that we can frame this a little bit better, is to grab this controller here and move it a little bit more in the X, so it end a little bit tighter here. Okay, we'll start off there, and we want to still make sure that we're not. We'll probably go even a little bit closer. A little bit more of a tight shot here, maybe a little bit further back, so we're more like that. And let's go back to our original perspective, and that way we can move our camera in a little bit more. Set that. Make sure we're at perspective 2, and we'll set that one here. And we'll start off something a little more intimate here. And I could probably even go a little bit tighter. So we'll start off here. Hit 115, probably at about 90. Let's see. It's probably framed a little bit nicer, so let's do I don't know that I'm fully in love with it. We might tweak around with this a little bit more tomorrow, but I feel like the ending frame it's framed a little bit nicer. It's not perfect, but it's workable. So let's take a look back at where we started. We were looking at the beautiful work of Michael Hague. Probably butchering that name as usual. Comments down below. He's a wonderful artist and really encapsulates bringing fantasy to life in his own unique way that I think is just gorgeous. And he said the fantastic is always believable if it is placed in the familiar. I think that's a great quote, great thing to think about as you're going on your creative and imaginative day today. I hope you're carving out some time to work on your own dreams, and thanks for sharing some time with me. I love you guys lots. I think you're amazing. And I think we'll wrap it up for today. I'm not sure how many more days we'll spend with this shot. I think we still haven't. I mean, there's tons of polish we could do on this, but I don't know how much of it would translate so well to audio format versus just watching me in the graph editor for forever. But I think we probably do another day on this shot. Maybe we can just tweak around with some more just overall composition and layout and camera moves and stuff so that those could read a little bit better. I think the animation is pretty close to where at least with this current idea, we could always change poses and push things more, but at least with this current idea, I think we're pretty close, except for doing some more polished stuff. So I'm getting rambly. We'll wrap it up. You guys are amazing. I love you lots. Thanks for all the likes and subscribes, and feel free, as always, the comment section is yours if you want to throw out links to your own work. I'm happy to give you some thumbs up, some encouragement, any of that kind of stuff. And that'll do it for today. So we will see you for some more animation, some more imagination, some more creativity, and some more taking steps together on our journey and having fun along the way.